this? Dog turd. Oh no. It's worse. The Nintendo GameCube is definitely my favorite console ever. It had a library to beat, and at least in my opinion, it's the last classic console. I mostly credit that due to the fact that the controller wasn't optimized to play first-person shooters, which is obviously both a curse and a blessing. This thing was everything you wanted it to be. It was powerful, it was durable, it was portable, but like I said, it was really the games that made the GameCube what it was. Now unfortunately, there's just one game from my personal library that I never completed, and that game is SpongeBob SquarePants Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. And the sad part is, there's just one reason I haven't finished this game. There's one quest in this game that's just so ridiculous that it led me to delete my save files multiple times as a kid to prevent myself from going back and trying to beat it again. This game is the closest thing I have to an arch nemesis. I really don't know what else to say, so let's just get this started, and well, we're off to a bad start already, huh? Let's just get this done. I'm pretty sure people have died listening to that. I'm pretty sure this has literally killed people. There was a kid one day, grandma's in the other room, kid turns on his GameCube, this devilish intro plays, grandma has a heart attack and died. I'm pretty sure there's an old woman somewhere buried in the ground because of this intro. Whatever, let's just start this.
What a silly dream!
No. Did you see that? Let's just take this back one more time. Tell me if you see something wrong with this.
What a silly dream!
SpongeBob's sleeping, and then he wakes up. Everybody knows that SpongeBob has a very particular alarm clock that wakes him up every morning. In fact, you can even see it in the game. They have the time to put the alarm clock in the game, but they don't have the time to make it work and make him wake up with it. If you're gonna make a SpongeBob game, you have to at least follow the source material. So here's your first chance to take control of SpongeBob. You use the joystick to control him, A to jump, A while in the air to glide, Y while in the air to do a belly slam, R to crouch and roll, R and A to make a higher jump, and B to do an attack. You're also shown that pants will be the health item in the game, so that's nice. Oh, I found a bug. Okay, check this out. So when you hit the ground after doing a belly slam, some dust flies out. The problem is that you can trigger a belly slam at any point during your descent from a fall, even the split second you touch the ground. If you manage to pull it off, you can actually see that the dust won't appear. It's an obscure issue, but I mean, I found it. Oh, and since when does SpongeBob have a parrot? Do you go to the main room where you see Gary and do unspeakable things in the bathroom? Here's where you're introduced to the random French narrator. I find him a little unnecessary, but whatever. After throwing the stick, Gary brings back a huge treasure chest. SpongeBob opens it up to reveal the Flying Dutchman. The Dutchman explains that he's gonna kidnap Gary and all of SpongeBob's other friends. Yeah, that's basically the plot. So after he leaves Wait. This is the best music they can play at this point in the game. So as you'll notice immediately, there are very few music tracks in the entire game. There's actually just 8 to be precise. 4 for all of SpongeBob's costumes, 2 for specific areas, and 1 for karate battles. Even worse than the very limited musical library is the fact that the track restarts every time a cutscene plays, or you pause the game, or the game is interrupted in absolutely any way. After leaving SpongeBob's house, one of the first things you'll notice is how well they recreated Bikini Bottom. I've gotta hand it to them. They created the world from the cartoon pretty well. It looks nice. The Patrick's got some problems with his TV, and we have to climb his house. Here's our first chance to seriously criticize the game. The narrator tells us to do a high jump to reach the roof, which we can do. However, we can also reach it simply by making a normal jump. There's many situations throughout the game, mostly in Jellyfish fields, where seemingly unscalable walls can be jumped up simply by mashing the jump button. SpongeBob can continue to jump even while he's sliding down a slope, so the only real obstacles in the game are flat platforms. For a 3D platformer with minimal combat, the only challenge you can really offer a player is in terms of platforming, so you gotta make sure that it works at least. On your way to the Krusty Krab, you meet the main gimmick of the game, the costumes. Over the course of the game, you unlock multiple costumes for SpongeBob. Each one changes the function of the B button and also the gliding animation. The only one that's worth half a crap is the jellyfishing gear, so be sure to get used to the song that plays whenever you wear it. It's annoying though because you can only change costumes at costume tents, and there's generally 1 per area. Why couldn't this just have been done in the pause menu? Is it because they're trying to make it more realistic? I can hold hundreds of gold coins and hundreds of jellyfish, but 4 costumes, that's too much. The positions of the costume tents don't even even work with any kind of puzzle or anything, so this is legitimately pointless and dumb. So for each world, the main goal is to collect the letter tiles and spell SpongeBob. Most tiles are world specific, but some are recurring. For example, collecting a certain number of jellyfish and coins. Similar to SpongeBob Street, the Krusty Krab looks nice. A little bit of trivia, the pants floating upside down in the kitchen of the Krusty Krab are probably a reference to one of the original pitches for SpongeBob to Nickelodeon. After collecting all the letter tiles for an area, SpongeBob has an epileptic seizure, and you enter his brain where you have to solve a puzzle. There's a time limit on each of these puzzles, and I'm somewhat curious as to what happens if you fail, but I'm really worried that it forces you to recollect all the letter tiles, so I'm not risking it. After that fiasco, SpongeBob shows up wearing a new treasure hunting costume accompanied by, you guessed it, a new song. The B button is used to find treasure, and the controller vibrates if you're close. Look, the garbage truck is here. He's coming to take the game. Take it. Sir, please. No? Even the trash collector doesn't want this. And now we see one of the most aggravating things about this game. Remember the French narrator who I talked about before? He actually shows up a few more times. He kind of interrupts you a lot and he explains a lot of really basic things to you. Well, here, what's arguably the most important text in the entire game, the only text that specifically tells you the objectives of the game and what you have to do to beat the Flying Dutchman. Where's the narrator to read this to me? Where is he? Oh, that's right, he's not here. I just have to read this on my own. Yeah, kids, I feel the same way. Oh, hey, but it's okay, because the narrator comes back to repeat this after you steal Squidward's book, right? No! You give the player their directives once! Once! Not twice, not 2 different ways, not 3 different ways, just once! The fact that they have to catch up is like they're admitting they did something wrong the first time and they're trying to make up for it. Why not fix it? This isn't a theater production, this is a video game. You can take stuff out and you can add things in. Okay. All I want to say is that it should have been done once and it should have been done right. So Gary gets taken, whatever.
And I mean no one!
Oh my god, is this music all you're going to play? Now we have to go to downtown Bikini Bottom to help Mr. Krabs deliver Krabby Patties. The first thing you'll notice about downtown is that it looks nothing like it does in the show. This looks much more like a realistic, dark, dingy city. Oh, and heads up, you'll have to learn your way around pretty quick. The delivery quest here is one of the cruelest in the game. Mr. Krabs gives you a street name and address, which is great, but each of the doors is always hidden in some tricky way. The hardest part of each of these is finding your way back to Mr. Krabs to pick up the next order. Finding your way back can be a pain because every street looks the same and you're already on a timer, so stress is amped up to 11. The absolute worst part of all of this is that the same jolly music is still playing as you run down these eerie alleyways. The best part of all this is where you get to molest thugs to death. Who would have thought there's a SpongeBob game where you can touch people's crotches until they die? You have a few more deliveries in a construction site. I personally like how there's no penalty for dying in the game, so you can commit suicide to respawn back at Mr. Krabs rather than having to walk the whole way. You eventually meet Patrick and get the Mermaid Man costume. The Mermaid Man costume allows you to throw water balls at innocent construction workers from a distance. Why is his jackhammer still working if he's not holding it? It's basically useless though because there's no way to lock on and the camera's too stiff to tell where you're aiming. Nowadays cameras can pass through walls and if there's a surface between the camera and the player, it'll make it transparent. But back in the old days of 3D platforming, cameras had their own physics. So in a game like this, under the right circumstances, you can bump the camera into a wall, get it stuck, and then continue moving your character and watch as your character just runs out of sight of the camera. Finally, you have a few more deliveries in the high-rise area. Remember before when I was talking about how since this is a 3D platformer, its only opportunity to challenge the player is through 3D platforming sections? Well, that only applies if it's difficult by design. If a section of the game is hard to complete because of bugs, it's not actually challenging, it's just bad. Most of the problems arise due to steep surfaces. Sometimes SpongeBob can get stuck between a slope and a solid surface. Unable to decide whether to mount or to slide off, his body just floats around there until you manage to fall off or restart the game. To make matters worse, this happens a lot more than it should since the camera's locked at a terrible angle in this section, and making jumps is practically impossible. So Mr. Krabs gets taken, and then Plankton comes and makes his appearance and tells you about his new theme park, Chum World. Then for some reason everybody decides to go to Jellyfish Fields. This is the moment I've been dreading. Jellyfish Fields is the reason I've never completed this game. I've never actually unlocked the 4th costume, the Reef Blower. I hate Jellyfish Fields so much. Screw it, we're going to Sandy's first. So Sandy challenges you to karate match. It's actually more of a who can break more stuff challenge. The flying kick is full of crap, so all you really need to do is spin the joystick around and mash the B button. Interactive entertainment at its best. So then you go buy Sandy a gift for being such a good friend. When you go back to Sandy's, her tree dome is leaking and you have to help her fix it. The tree dome is the only other area in the game that they did justice. It's so weird how they follow the source material to a T in some circumstances, but then take complete creative liberty in others. You've got to run around throwing nuts at holes. Sounds easy enough, but SpongeBob's odd throwing angle and the inconsistent hit detection actually makes it pretty difficult. Then it turns out that SpongeBob's gift was actually a beehive. Go figure. So now you gotta clean up that mess. I will point out one thing that thoroughly impressed me though. The jumping sound effect is different in the tree dome than it is out in other areas of the game since there's no water. A small detail, but very nice. As sexual tension escalates between SpongeBob and Sandy,
I might even have a reward for you.
SpongeBob starts his hunt for the remaining bees and... No, I can't do this any longer. I can't delay this. I need to take a deep breath. I need to face my fears. I need to man up, and I need to go to Jellyfish Fields. Welcome to Jellyfish Fields, where dreams come to die, and where patience is pushed to the limit. Now, I'm cheating a little bit here. Starting from a save file I made about a week ago when I was trying to get back into the game. I didn't record anything back then, and I absolutely refuse to start this fresh. Never again. As usual, you'll notice that this looks nothing like it does in the show. Jellyfish Fields has always been shown as a large open field with few disturbances. There's no lakes or boats or giant flying jellyfish with portals or shipwrecks or giant spring clams or swings or random fat guys. This just isn't Jellyfish Fields. The problem is that this is where the reef blower is. Wanna know how to get it? You have to win the jellyfishing competition. Wanna know how to win the jellyfishing competition? You have to catch 100 jellyfish. Yes, that's right, 100. Now see, I've played a lot of collectathons before, but this is by far the worst collect quest I have ever experienced in my life. This quest is so aggravating that it led me to delete my own save file in frustration for 12 years. Yeah, it came out in 2002. Holy crap. I hate this quest with every fiber of my being. It is the epitome of pointlessness. Sure, 100 might not seem like too big of a number, but these are jellyfish we're talking about. They're enemies that can damage you and constantly run away, plus the time it actually takes to find each and every one. To make matters worse, Jellyfish Fields is separated into so many sub-areas that if you happen to miss a single jellyfish, you'll have to backtrack all the way around. Even if you didn't miss anything, you'll end up backtracking just to reassure yourself.
If you can defeat me, then you can have the ticket.
Yo, is that a threat? Yo, come at me, bro.
Oh, I gotta find a new line of work.
Wow. Classic. For the life of me, I can't find the rest of the jellyfish. I have 84. That means there's 16 jellyfish somewhere around here. Maybe there's a whole other sub-area that I keep walking past or missing. That must be it. Another really annoying thing about the game is that every time you walk into a character or a key item, dialogue is triggered instantly, which is kind of the most, like that, because, you know, why do I have to listen to SpongeBob if I don't give half a crap about what he has to say? This should have been an action button. It shouldn't, look, here we go again. Oh, look, now he's gonna tell me I don't have the 100 jellyfish again, and I'm...
Feast your eyes on this stash, Rusty.
What?
We have a winner! Now you can choose one of the prizes inside the corral.
I have 84 jellyfish. It's so... No. Are you serious? No! No. You know what? I don't even care. Just give me the reef blower. Let's do this. Just figure out how this happened and give me the reef blower. I earned it. Let's go. It turns out that there's only 84 jellyfish in Jellyfish Fields. I caught all of them. The thing is though that the jellyfish competition takes into consideration jellyfish you've caught in other areas, for example, Bikini Bottom and downtown. The thing is, when you go to Jellyfish Fields and you enter a jellyfishing competition, you assume that it's a jellyfishing competition for Jellyfish Fields. The other problem is that for every area you go to, the jellyfish count goes back to 0, so you can't actually see how many jellyfish you have in total unless you pause the game. I figured this out after. It should have been specifically stated when the guy said, "Welcome to the jellyfish competition," that it's total jellyfish count, not jellyfish for Jellyfish Field. This is the reason I never completed this game, this one section, because I could never find all 100. So the fact that they give you this ridiculous collectathon is only trumped by the fact that they don't give you the rules properly, and you can actually be led to think you haven't won the competition when you already have. I hate this quest. Ugh, now I have to do one of these stupid puzzle things again. Something about SpongeBob's little dance is so awkward. It's like his pants are fixed in a point in space, and the rest of his limbs are just moving around it. It's like that in every cutscene. Just look at it back in the intro.
Longer!
It looks so unnatural, especially for a cartoon character. At last, my final steps through Jellyfish Fields. This is actually the only treasure that doesn't receive boos from the audience of children, which is good, because there's not really anything gross about this one. So finally, after years of wondering, I can finally see what happens when you use the reef blower on Squidward's Scarecrow. Alright, moment of truth. That's it? Are you freaking kidding me? Why hype this up if that's all? I don't even need this at this point in the game. Like no, seriously. Having the reef blower means I must have already found the treasure for Bikini Bottom, which means I already have all the gold doubloons required. This serves literally no purpose. Ugh, I hate this game so much. At this point, everything in the game is new to me. Apparently I have to go to Goo Lagoon because whatever, and Larry has the bus ticket but he's being a jerk and not letting me use it until I bring him 50 jellyfish. Yeah, so 2 jellyfish quests in a row. That's a total of 150 jellyfish with no break. But at this point, Jellyfish Fields and Bikini Bottom are void of all life, so I have to go all the way back downtown to get more. I really hope that I never have to come back here. I really don't. Oh my Jesus Christ! I'm stuck in the floor! Ladies and gentlemen, I am trapped between the floor of a high-rise apartment. Death awaits me below. Oh god, I can't even kill myself! Without dignity, I must submit to the game and quit. Oh, by the way, the menus look like I'm trying to run Nazem on a potato. Alright, so let's go to Goo Lagoon now. I'm gonna make a bet here that it looks nothing like it does in the show. Wow. It looks like a desert.
Are you looking for trouble?
No, but would you care to explain to me why the developers believe that your voice is so important that it should take priority over all other audio in the game whenever you speak? No, seriously, this guy is the default enemy for this area, and every time one of them speaks, the music stops. And guess what happens when he finishes his line? Yep, the music restarts.
Get off the beach, runt.
Also, these guys are lifeguards! Why are lifeguards attacking me on the beach and calling me a wimp? There's kids on the beach too, why aren't they wimps? Why couldn't the enemies just be thugs again or something? It's even weirder since taking damage means losing your pants. So essentially, a bunch of lifeguards are removing my pants one layer at a time until I'm left in my underwear, and once I am, they just brutally murdered me. What is this game? So Larry's being a big jerk and not talking to me because apparently I'm not cool enough, so I've got to chase him around. Hey look, an actual generic fish person from the show. Probably one of the most memorable moments in the game this far is the lighthouse section. Scaling it is actually one of the greatest platforming sections of the entire game. When you get to the top though, it's nothing more than hopping across a few stationary jellyfish. The feel of the storm though, being at the highest point on the beach, the rain, the thunder, the lightning, everything was there to set up an incredible mood. But unfortunately, it's absolutely destroyed by the music. This is a great example of why choosing to base music off the costume the character is wearing rather than the area they're currently in is a terrible idea. This is the same music that was playing a few hours ago when I was collecting the 100 jellyfish in Jellyfish Field. Unfortunately though, this isn't the worst offender in terms of music. After proving yourself to Larry by beating him in a break-everything karate fight, SpongeBob goes to the dock. Entering this new area, the frame rate drops like your pants when you've been brewing a turd for a couple of hours.
Get off the beach, runt.
Man, these lifeguards are really getting on my nerves. So you get to the end where you're supposed to wait for a shipment to come in, and the Dutchman hijacks a boat and begins to destroy the dock and everyone on it. So what music begins to play again? The jellyfishing music, because I'm wearing the jellyfishing costume. According to the developers of this game, the most important information to portray to the player through music is the costume that they're currently wearing, not the events that are happening on screen. Music in a game could and should be used for much more. Hardware isn't even an excuse because the Twin Snakes was on the GameCube, and the Twin Snakes use music for different alert phases in different areas. Trying to get back through the rubble to get the letter tile is terrible because of bad platforms. Like, seriously, look at this. I hate Goo Lagoon. I hate this game. Off to Chum World. As far as I know, this isn't actually a place from the show, so that's good, or at least not bad. What is bad though is that this is the first area that has music specific to it. Yes! That means regardless of what costume you wear, the same music track plays. The same annoying carnival music. Most of the clowns are in charge of games and you need to talk to them to get letter tiles. But all of a sudden you realize by surprise that some of the clowns just attack you as regular enemies. Why would you make NPCs and regular enemies the same character? This makes no sense! So after gathering 6 treasures, we have to go to some freaky Dutchman world to get the last one, free our friends, and beat the Dutchman. This is the second area in the game that has music specific to it. I'll hand it to this one, it's not as annoying as the Chum World music. All I can say is prepare for booty jokes.
Someone grabbed my booty, and I'd much rather be playing with my booty. Bring me a helping of that booty. I used to love worming my booty in this place. Now that is one loaded booty sack. Everyone wants more booty, no matter what package it comes in. I could barely get my hands around all that booty. You must really know where to find the best booty.
Let me guess, you lost some booty, you want some more booty.
Have I mentioned that I hate this game? And I also hate this primitive collision physics. Super Mario Sunshine was on this console. No excuse. So you get the last treasure and it's revealed that the Dutchman is a drag queen. So, time to free all of SpongeBob's friends.
What took you so long, SpongeBob?
I don't get it. Why do they all just no clip away? And why do they just happen to land on this floating boat? And where did this floating boat come from? Where is this floating boat even? Where is any of this game taking place? What am I even looking at? What is life? Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? If by it you're referring to absolute and total confusion, then I'm feeling it. So are you feeling it? Can you tell me what's happening? Oh crap. Oh crap, it's happening, it's happening. Final boss battle, Flying Dutchman, let's go, let's go, let's go! I've been waiting 12 years for this moment. I'm gonna show this Dutchman exactly what I'm made of. Alright, so karate chopping isn't the way to go. This must be some kind of pattern-based boss fight. Let's just wait and see what he does.
I'm the Flying Dutchman.
Why do they need to tell me to keep away from the Dutchman's portal? Of course I'm gonna keep away from the Dutchman's portal. No, I'm just gonna stand here and wait for him to come and kill me. That's a great, fantastic idea. Okay, so he throws bombs. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to pick up these bombs and throw them back at him, right? The hardest part about this is getting in the right position to actually pick up the bomb. If you don't, you get stuck doing a karate chop and then you get hit when the bomb explodes. What? Wow, really? That's it? This game came out after Luigi's Mansion. This is the worst ghost sucking up into any sort of thing I've ever seen, ever. I really don't know what I was expecting as far as an ending is concerned, but, you know, this is just kind of disappointing. It didn't even have an extra boss theme. It just played the Dutchman World song. I don't know if it was worth it in the end.
Of course, you know this is coming out of your paychecks.
Well, I guess there's just one thing left to do to the Flying Dutchman. Give him a pirate's funeral. We're bound to be close to the sea. Our captain will stand on the bridge and sing, pirates are all we can be. With a hi-hi-ho and a hi-hi-hey, we're hoisting the flag to be free. We will steal the show, Flying Dutchman go. We are lords of the sea.